Hey everybody, and welcome back for one last week of Tai Chi Form 1. So, this does not mean, for everybody worried, that we are not going to go back to this form. This is something we will be reviewing every week. We'll be doing the warm-ups you're used to and this form that you're used to. However, we'll be doing it a little bit less in terms of repetition. So, if people are looking at getting started in this, they can of course look back at our older videos. We've kept that on the website. All you guys need to do to get started is just review those. However, for people who are looking to start the next form, next week is where we're going to start with some of those basics as well. And just like we built on this form, we're going to go little by little by little until we have it all together. Now eventually these two forms can be linked up, and that's going to be our long-term goal, is to be able to review this one enough that it stays in our memory, and then we can move on, add number 2, and once the two are good enough that we all feel comfortable, we'll bring them together before we go on to our last form, form number 3. These are going to keep building in complexity as well, so as we move along you can expect that this is going to get a little bit more challenging, building up on some of the skills that we've already put together in this form as we move on to the next one into new footwork and new movements with our hands so that you guys can get a more advanced workout as we go along. So, as we get started and everybody starts to sign on, we're just going to begin with our lightweight shifts, getting everything warmed up. The cat is already trying to make an appearance. And now he's going to make some noise in the background to try and get my attention. As this gets easier, you can put less and less weight off the opposite foot until over your last couple reps, you feel like you're bringing it all the way off the ground. Now we're going to go into our body rotations, moving a little by little. Last up, we're just going to start by sinking down, bringing our hands up overhead, and then back down. Now we're going to bring ourselves back into our neutral stance. Knees are going to be a little bit bent, remember. Elbows behind us, palms face up towards the ceiling. We're going to start with our low block. Shifting our way off to one side, opposite hand up, palm towards the ceiling, coming back down, palm right in front of our thigh. Bring it back to neutral and switch. Comes. He's very well trained to test my base of support and make sure I don't fall over. Next, we're going to go into our middle block, coming up, and palm ends right in front of your face. Last, we'll go into our high block. Palm should end out, up above our head. Next, we're just going to go into our basic strike, starting with our palm heel strike. Palm should end straight out in front of you. Next, we'll do our two-hand push, up, and both hands out. And last, we'll drop into our spear hand, bringing one arm straight out in front of you, palm down. Other hand comes out, ends in front of your face, with your thumb up towards the ceiling. Okay. Last up, we just have our basic leg movements. We have our knee strike, which comes from a staggered stance, coming up in front of us. And our front kick, which is still coming off that back leg, but coming into a full extension. before we're placing it back down. So we're just going to start one leg in front, one leg in back. We're going to do 4 on each side, starting with our knees. And we'll switch. Switch back for our front kicks, bring the leg up, extend the foot out, and back. And switch. Now we're just going to finish with our footwork. That is, when we are going to turn one direction, we're going to lean the opposite way so we can pick the foot up, turn towards that way, and come into our even stance. And back to the middle, pivoting off, and switching down. Okay. Everybody's ready? We're going to start the first time through our form. We're going to do it twice today. Again, we're going to do it once where I talk through, and a second time where we just follow along together. So start with your feet shoulder width apart. Everything should be nice and relaxed. We're going to start with our salute. Bring your arms up and around. Coming back so that the right hand is a fist, the left is on top making a roof. Pressing it out forward. Bring both hands forward, palms up. Come back, sink just slightly into your knees with your palms up. Bring one hand up to your shoulder. And whichever shoulder you're going to, that leg is going to accept your weight. So you can turn the opposite direction. Bring the up hand down into a low block. Bring your weight forward, pivoting your back foot so that your hips are straight ahead into your palm heel strike. You bring that hand back to your chest. Pivot your foot down. Accept your weight over so that we can make our turn to the opposite direction. Bring the weight back so you can turn into your block. Step forward so your weight can shift in. Pivot your foot so your hips are square into that palm heel strike. Whatever hand is at your waist, that hand is going to come up to your head. Opposite hand comes back down. Bring yourself off into a middle block on the opposite side. Both hands up and together. Into our first push. Keep those hands up to grab your imaginary opponent's shoulders. Bring your knee up into your strike. We set it back down. Whatever hand is the same side as the foot that's forward is going to come up to your head. Turning back the opposite direction to the opposite middle block. Both hands come up to our forward press. Hands stay up to grab the imaginary shoulders and pull this into a knee strike. Bring that leg back. Hands come down. Whatever leg you have your weight on, the opposite hand is going to come across you. So that we can move into our high block to the opposite side. That hand is going to come down and make a table. As we pivot forward into our spear strike. From there, both hands are going to come back and form an X. Back leg comes up for our front kick. The direction you're turning, that hand is now on top. We come up for that opposite high block. Come down into a table for your spear strike. Bring your hands back into an X. So the back leg comes up into your front kick. Bring it back down and back of you. Shift your weight back so your feet can come forward. Palms come back up. Into our ready stance. Rise through your knees to reach up for the ceiling. Come back down into our salute position. Left hand on top. Press out and down. That was our first time through that form. This next time I will not be talking. I'm just going to have you guys follow along with what I'm doing. Remember, you can either mirror me or you can attempt to do. So if the way I'm standing right now, my left hand is up, my weight is on my right leg. If that doesn't work for you and you need to think left and right, that works as well. There's no wrong way to do this form because we're doing it to both sides. So remember to go with whatever way is most comfortable for you. When you're ready, feet about shoulder width apart. I'm not going to talk through this time. Okay, so that is our review of Form 1. Next week, like I said, we're going to be starting Form 2. While Form 1, we include a lot of movements that are just very simply turning side to side. Our next footwork is going to be more involving forward movements and backward movements. So we're going to start by, again, reviewing how feet move. So instead of going through our side-to-side actions, we're going to start with the exercises that are going to help you guys move into more of a forward and retreating stance as we go through both sides. Then we'll start with a different set of strikes. We're going to move slightly differently. Instead of our open palm strikes you've become accustomed to, we're going to start doing some closed fist strikes. And then we're also going to do a different set of footwork drills. Instead of moving straight linear, we're going to start bringing things around the body a little bit. So that's a little bit of a preview of what you guys are going to be working with as we move into Form 2. I'm going to stay on for just a little bit to see if there's any questions left on Form 1, and next week we'll begin with that type of work. All right. Anybody have any questions about what we'll be doing or what we have done in terms of where your hands need to be, where your feet need to be, or how things are going so far? I'm going to stay on for just a moment, give you guys a chance to catch up with the feed and respond. If you don't have any questions, we'll be all set for the day. Oh, and in the meantime, because he has stayed right here oh so patiently, everybody gets to meet Tristan. He's just waiting for a spotlight. All right, I'm not seeing any questions come through, so I'll see you guys next week for Form number 2. Have a great one.